decided to go live again tonight for you guys. I just got done doing a live interview. So if you'd like to check out that live interview, head on over to the channel. If you'd like to check out the other episodes I have on, any lives that I've done, um, check them out. And if you like what you see, consider subscribing to the channel. Just wait for some people to get on in here and see what we do. Got two people in. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Charlie, what's going on? Safe and happy Tuesday Vale. Okay, so are you in Australia or close to there? You're saying Tuesday. It's Monday here. Ashes, what's up, buddy? If you're new to the chat, what's up, Ghost Samurai? Welcome back. Yo, Chelsea, what's going on? Sienna, what's going on? Gotta hit the sack soon. Yay, awesome. Oh my God, I got my days wrong. Two real crypt. Man, you guys, I'm telling you, Daryl's in the house. Mr. Daryl Denton is in the house. What's up, Wade? Good seeing you guys. Hey, so if you guys have not, if you're new to the chat, first time jumping in for the Cryptid podcast, drop a 1 in the chat and let me know where you're from. I like to see, where I'm reaching, who's listening. You guys, I got like I think it was last night or the night before last. I had Brazil, Saudi Arabia, Scotland, Iceland, Canada, Palestine, Iran, Australia, Colombia, Argentina, Denmark, Belgium, India. They all jumped on into the chat. So, hey, Daryl, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Massachusetts, Tanya's in. It's gonna warm up here in a little bit. I know it will, guys. I'm just gonna have a treat with you. I'm gonna bring up some. We're gonna do maybe some Dogman encounters. We'll read some Dogman encounters for you guys. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy. I hope everybody will enjoy it. So, North Central Illinois town is home of BFR Report 772. Oh, hold on, let me write that down. 77219 BFR. I'll look at that up. I'll look that up. Iowa. I know I got Scotland in here. Hey, Daryl, are you in Jersey still, or are you in Tennessee? So yeah, I can't wait to meet you and wait, are you gonna be going to are you gonna be heading over to the Bigfoot conference in McMinnville? Let me know. But there's a lot of people I want to read. I just saw Barton Nunley. He posted for the first time in months. I guess it was, there's some rough patches with him and his wife with their health and stuff like that. But it's good to see him back into the back into the fold thing. So those glasses, or let's see, these glasses. No. Love Wolfman. When they hung outside, they would run around, play peekaboo, show them thing. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh man, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be so cool. I get to meet you. Maverick, what's up? Seem like a cool dude to chill and have a beer with. And who cares if we hold hands? Because you know what? There's nothing weird about that, man. Couple buddies hanging out, holding hands, drinking some brewskis. That's cool, man. No problem with that. Try Squatch, what's up? Oh snap! It's Clark Kent. What's going on? We'll get some more people in here. If you guys are new to the chat, let me know where you guys are. Are you leaving Jersey Thursday morning? Are you driving or are you flying? Exactly. Mitten Man, what's up? Hey, I got it all written down still. I got it all written down. Where your place is. because actually we are going to be in town Halloween, November 1st and November 2nd. So hopefully I know I have it written down somewhere. I know I do. Oh crap. You know, man, give me the name of your coffee shop one more time. Because I guess I misplaced it. I'm sorry about that. I know it is. Owl Eye Coffee Roast. That's it. That's it. I'll put it in a post-it here. Owl Eye Coffee Roaster. Awesome. I got it. What's up, Mr. Duffy? Dude, you should get a whole bag of fortune cookies and read them and that's crazy. Yeah, for real. So you guys, you're tired of caribou for the first time. You say, oh, you tried caribou for the first time and you were disappointed. It depends on what you get. Chelsea, if you get during Christmas time, if you get the ho ho mint mocha, fantastic. It's awesome. Dano, too bad you can't stay long enough to go to the big vessel in Marion, North Carolina. I think it's next week. Oh man, that'd be awesome if I could do that. But I can't. Stay away from all the big brands. I could speak for a solid half hour. Absolutely. Bro, what's for breakfast? Dude, I like breakfast burritos. I like sausage, cheese, sausage, egg, and cheese muffins. I like that. Biscuits. Greens from Norway. Oh, that is awesome. We got Norway in the house. Norway, Norway, Norway. I'm writing down wherever you guys are from overseas. I write that down. Just to let you guys know, um, that the UK at one time was like the number two place, or actually it was Canada, UK, then Australia that came, you know, two, three, and four, and now it's, you know, you're hungry. I know you are. Glad to catch you live. Absolutely, man. It's perfect. Now I don't know what time you get up in the morning, but I do a morning. I call it coffee with Dano, even though I don't drink coffee. Um, but I do a live. I do a live every Monday, well, Monday through Friday. So, and then it's usually at 6:45 to 7:45 Central Standard Time in the morning, AM. Pork and beans, what's going on? All right, you guys. I'm gonna have somebody. Let me check something here real quick. Kimberly Morgan. I thought you were a MD guy. What's MD guy? Mountain Dew. Come on. I got it right here. I am. I got it. Mandu. Lean, what's up? Do you have any black friends? Now, that is a silly question because all my friends are my friends. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, purple, plaid. Doesn't matter. If you're my friend, you're my friend. I don't look at a race that way. I'm on the poop at work. Awesome, man. Hey, you know what? You know, company makes $1, you make a dime. That's why you got to poop on company time. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do, brother. I don't drink a lot of it. I drink maybe one or two. David, what's going on? Mr. Clem, what's going on? Man, I'm telling you, if you spell out something that is not cool, you're getting booted. What's up, Tim? New Zealand. Nice. New Zealand. All right, who wants to get into some Dogman encounters? Anybody? Canada, oh Canada. Hey, you guys need to keep your smoke out of there. Joel, what's going on, man? Slimmy Slim, buttermilk biscuits free today. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, keep it going. Do not block him. Do not take away that, because if you know, you know. If you know, you know. Are you gonna have those buttermilk biscuits in your hoopty or your Testarossa? Hey, Michael, how's it going? Yeah, you guys ready for some Dogman stories? Ready, ready, ready? All right. So, in the chat, I'm gonna start international. Okay, I'm gonna start international. I haven't read these stories yet. I have. Well, you know what? Because we have someone from New Zealand in the chat, I'm gonna ring. I'm gonna read a Dogman um, encounter from New Zealand. So, you guys ready? Here we go. Joel, what's going on? All right. So, this encounter comes from is it Hutt? Hutt, New Zealand. Oh my goodness, I hope I can pronounce some of these words. Michael, thank you so much for that sub. I appreciate it. I live in the Akatakarawa Hills. I know I probably butchered that, so I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Why was he timed out? Didn't even know you had him. Well, Tim, here we go. So this person lived in the Aktatakwarwara. I don't know. I'm butchering. I'm sorry, you guys. Um, for a time. One night I was outside with my then partner in the yard, which backed onto some hills. I was using a flashlight to point out star constellations in the sky when I heard this rustling noise. When I heard it, I shone my flashlight where I heard the noise coming from, and to our amazement, we saw a figure about 7 to 8 feet tall with light creamy gray shaggy fur. It was upright on two legs, and its front paws, hands, arms were held uptight or upright, a bit like a kangaroo would. It had a face like a wolf, but I thought its snout was a bit longer. Its ears were like that of a wolf as well, and it had a longish tail, which was also covered in shaggy fur. It curved up. The creature was side on to us, so we couldn't see its eyes, teeth, or even if the creature had seen us. It was walking quiet. It was walking quite slowly, and it disappeared into some trees. At that point, my partner went after it. He never found it, though. The sighting was approximately 30 feet from me. I never saw it again, but to be honest, I don't look too hard either, as I was a bit freaked out. This comes from Penny, and this was in 2007. All right. What do we got here? Kind of looking to see what we got here. What's up, Mr. Bo Ballard? Ark, what's going on? Beautiful New Zealand. All right. I got timed out one day. I don't know why. I don't know if you might, sometimes Travis C, people get crazy in these chats, and our moderators sometimes they try to get to the person who, whatever they said, and they might have done, timed you out by accident. So just as long as you guys, Michael, man, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. Human, what's going on? So just let everybody know. Hold on a second. I just saw something I want to ask. Mr. Duffy, chill out, man. Come on, brother. If anybody starts talking about politics, anybody starts talking about religion, anybody starts slinging out racial slurs, spamming, all my mods know what to do. We're not going to have any timeouts with that type of stuff. You will be booted right out of the chat. Okay. Delete the comments when you can. Be careful. I know some people get crazy on here, and we have a lot of good people on here, and I don't want them to. I don't want them to get booted by accident. Okay. So let's hit up another Dogman encounter, you guys. How about that? Let's see here. Do we have any Aussies? Any Aussies in here? Yeah, Bart Nunley is a good guy. Yeah, me too, Chelsea. But he's a busy guy. Anybody from Australia in the chat? Well, you're still here, Travis. You're here now, so don't worry about it. You're good. You're good. All right. Anybody else want to hear another international? What's up, Whiskey Benton Hellbound? Ontario. Does anybody want to hear another international Dogman encounter? Put a 1 in the chat. All right, Tim. Hey, EA, how's it going? Sherry Radway, where are you from? How are you doing? EA, where are you from? If you guys are new to the chat, new to the channel, drop a 1. Well, you know what? Drop a 5 if you're new to the chat, new to the Cryptid podcast. Drop a 5 into the chat. Let me know where you're from. So 1s. All right, here we go, guys. Pick a number between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between 1 and 5. Pick a number between 1 and 5. Northern Minnesota. EA, whereabouts in northern Minnesota? 5? Okay. 5 was the first one I saw. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do Gothenburg, Sweden. Gothenburg, Sweden. Matthew, how are you doing? Hello, mate. How are you doing? I'm doing well, man. Thank you. So, Gothenburg, Sweden. This took place in 2016. Now, the person that reported this did not give their name. When I was out walking in the woods close to my house, I did hear something strange, a strange noise coming from the woods. When I looked, I saw what I believed was 2.5 meters tall. This creature was standing on 2 legs like a human, but its body was covered with fur. It had the head like a dog. I directly started to run and did not stop until I was safe at home. When I ran, I did hear the creature was following, but it stopped a few 100 meters behind me. It's a short and sweet. Still, it's scary. You guys, honestly, don't run from any of these things because, as you know, when you run and it's a predator, you now become prey. And I missed where EA whereabouts where you were from. What's up, Logan? Smile. Oh, so you're way, way, way up there. Yeah, bro. I'm near. I'm south of Forest Lake, Minnesota. So, all right. The next number that I saw was number 4. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is in Styria, Austria. And this one goes, my parents had a house in the countryside of Styria. To give you a little layout of the area, we lived in a valley surrounded by other houses. The valley itself was surrounded by thick forest and still is. There were 2 bigger roads that you could take to leave the valley. One would lead to the city, the other one went downhill to a small village. Both roads went through the forest. I was 15 at the time and decided to spend the day at a friend's house in that village. I stayed a little longer than I usually would, and by the time I was ready to head home, it was too dark outside. I had a moped or an autocycle, depending on what you want to call it. which was really slow going up hills. So I rode it out of the village and was riding over a bridge. Before I reached the end of the bridge, I thought I saw something to my right in the forest, but I figured it was nothing. Pressing on, I rode up the hill and onto the road and continued through the forest. As soon as I passed the part where I thought I'd seen something, something stepped out of it. I couldn't see what it was because there were no street lights, but I had a bad feeling in my gut. I rode as fast as I could, around 20 miles an hour, and when I looked in the side mirror, I saw two yellowish eyes right behind me. Whatever it was followed me like that, halfway through until we reached the fork where a farmer had cut a little path into the forest. The entrance to this was usually blocked by a gate, similar looking like a railroad gate. Whatever was following me just raced to this gate. It was way faster than my moped, jumped over it, and ran into the forest. We didn't have any bears or wolves there, and why would a deer follow me, let alone that close, maybe 2 feet away? Sadly, it wasn't my last encounter with this thing, and this was from Martin, and it was reported in 2009. Hey, Slimmy Slim, buttermilk biscuits, free today. If you guys don't know, that's buttermilk biscuits by us from Mixalot. You have. Hey, you guys, again, if you're new to the chat, drop a 1 in the channel. Drop a 1 in the chat. Let me know where you're from. I am your host, Dano. I am the host of the Cryptid podcast. And if you guys have had an encounter, please drop me email at thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com. Any of my mods, could you please type that into the chat? Again, it's thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com. I talk about cryptids, Bigfoots. Right now, I'm reading some stories about Dogman. I drop new episodes every single Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I also do a Monday through Friday live show in the morning called Coffee with Dano. And I usually start that around 6:45 and it goes until about 7:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then every Saturday night at 7:30 new time, 7:30 Central Standard Time, I do a live stream where I'll talk about a specific cryptid, or I'll talk about a group of cryptids, or I will talk like a specific event. And if you guys are interested in some of those lives or some of the episodes, please head on back to the channel. Look at videos, look at lives. Some of the incidences that I've talked about is Marble Mountain incident, the attack at Ape Canyon. Also, we did the White Hall Abear Road incident that happened in Whitehall, New York, up near the Adirondacks. Um, that happened in 1976. That was a fun one to do. That was really fun one to do. And again, if you guys like what you see, please consider subscribing to the channel. What is a cryptid? So the cryptid is pretty much something that you see, something that's reported to exist, but really shouldn't exist. So you're thinking about Dogman, Bigfoot, the Jersey Devil, Mothman, stuff like that. Ark Rosebud has been on Coffee with Dano while I drink coffee, but new to crypto. Well, crypto is currency. Cryptid are creatures. Hopefully that answers your question, Bobby. Again, the email address is thecryptidpodcast72@gmail.com. Yeah, crawlers, creatures who existence is disputed or unproven. Exactly, human. Perfect. We're ready to hear another one. I heard the next number I saw was 3. So let's go into 3. So what did that was a 1, 2. This one is in Landsborough, Queensland, Australia. Cannibal Joker. What's up, man? Earlier you mentioned the Dogman. I've heard some great stories about Dogman from down in the swamps in Louisiana. Oh man, it's possible you probably heard stories also about the Rougarou. Falcon, what's going on, man? Good to see you back. Oh, right down along with there. Is it, buddy? Is it going to be a little rough? No, I understand, man. I really do. But again, if you ever get a chance to get a hold of someone who would like to, especially the Aborigines, I would love to have one of them interview 'em. Wendigo, yeah, that could be considered a cryptid. Skinwalkers, crawlers, um, things like that. So this next story comes from Landsborough, Queensland, in Australia. Okay. Fuzzy Booger. Any gooners in the chat? I don't know what a gooner is. Okay, so this was reported in 2016, and then again, the person did not leave their name. So I just gotten off the bus at the train station and was walking through a small shortcut. As I was walking down the street, I noticed someone at the end of the street in the dark watching me. I didn't think much of it at the time. I checked my phone for the time and saw that it was around 11:06 p.m. When I looked back up, I noticed two pairs of glowing yellow, goldish like eyes. Then I remembered that I had seen someone or something in that spot before. I stopped walking so I could get a better look at it. Suddenly, it went down on all fours and ran off. I could feel my heart beating and my fear rising. I waited for a couple of minutes to calm down. After that, I went on walking and looked back at my phone. It was 11:08 p.m. When I looked back up, I saw it running back on the edge of the footpath I needed to use across the street. When I first saw it, it was on all fours. It then started to stand, and on two legs, it was there, watching me. I could feel its eyes stare at me. Then, a few seconds later, as I was still walking, trying to act like I couldn't see it, it went back down on all fours and ran down the road I needed to use to get home. As I rounded the end of the street, I could see it running down the side of the road, heading towards the forest. There we go. What do you guys think of that one? You know what? I'm just going to read the rest of them on here. Let's see here. I've got, let's see, got that one done. How about Norway, Scandinavia? Here we go. This one is from Norway. This one was reported, this is a kind of long one. Again, anonymously reported July of 2014. I haven't heard a lot about encounters in Norway, Scandinavia, not even in Europe, but here is mine. A little background info. I'm 27, from Norway, and I live in the western part of Norway. I work and have a girlfriend. I am 194 centimeters tall, or 6'4", and 230 pounds. I'm fairly athletic and not scared of much here in life, but that night I got incredibly scared. I haven't walked or camped or done anything in the woods here since. I have been in the woods since, but not in this particular part of the country. I've always loved the forest. It's so quiet. I love being alone. Actually, if I have any spare time, I always like to do things outside, whether it's fishing, jogging, playing soccer, basketball, hiking, whatever really, as long as I'm outside. Now, on to the encounter. The day was very normal. It was a Saturday afternoon. I packed up my tent and some food and was headed to a local mountain for a one-night camping trip. It wasn't a very difficult hike, but it was a very steep one. After 2 or 3 hours, even though I'm in respectable shape, I should say, I was pretty tired. I didn't have any mobile phone or clock with me, but my best guess is the time was around 8 p.m. It's not that easy to guess the time since the sun is up almost all day and all night when it's summer here in Norway. It was a nice, clean Norwegian evening. It was typical summer weather. I made a fire to cook some food. I had a couple of hot dogs and a pack of marshmallows with me. After a couple of hours, I'd eaten my food. Actually, I felt a little sick because I probably ate way too much. I had enjoyed my meal and taken in the heat of the fire, thinking it was a lovely evening. Eventually, it started to get somewhat dark. I'm going to say that time was probably around 11. I planned to kick back and read, but became a little too dark to do that. So all I could do was concentrate on the letters as I was reading. It was probably a little too tired also. But then suddenly, I heard a noise from the bush to my right. I turned to look in that direction and I saw it standing there. It was standing to my right and kind of ahead of me. I've listened to reports and they say what they saw was somewhere between 7 and 9 feet tall, a monster of a beast. This one really wasn't that big. I would say it was roughly 6 feet tall at most, but it shook me kind of hard. In one moment, I was enjoying a nice evening by myself next to a fire, and in the next moment, I felt extremely startled. It was breathing heavy, like a very tired man, but it also sounded like an animal, wild and weird. It sounded like it had a throat problem or phlegm, slime in its throat or something. I really don't know how to describe as I'm writing this. I was still sitting at this point and just looked at it. I believe I was actually frozen in fear. I've never seen anything like this or encountered anything like this other than a deer in the woods. The most dangerous animal we have here is probably a fox. The creature was frozen as well. It was standing on two legs with its arms down at its sides. I can't say how many seconds we both stayed like this. Of course, it felt like forever or an eternity. I couldn't see its eyes because they were so dark and kind of in the shadows of its brow or sockets, and it was also had hair, but its head was fixed on me. That I could tell. I was just sitting there and paying attention to what it was doing. I didn't utter any words at it at all. It just wasn't something I considered doing. I was afraid of making the first move. Now, you know how a cat slowly moves its paws ahead when it thinks it's safe or when it thinks its prey isn't paying attention? Well, to me, that's what this thing started doing. The incident ended with me throwing a handful of red glowing sticks from the fire at it. When I did that, it bolted. I will tell you more if you contact me. And that's in Norway. And we got one more international from over in that area of the world. And this is not even in that, this is in South America. Um, Londrina, Paraná, Brazil. In Brazil. What's up, Bo Ballard? Okay, this is kind of a long one. This is reported in 2002, and the person who reported his name is Gabriel. Hello, my name is Gabriel. I'm 20 years old now, and my encounter happened when I was 6 years old, turning 7. Back then, my family and I lived in a country stead in Lorena, Parina, Brazil. It wasn't a rural property. It was more like country summer house, but in the city. The property was just outside the suburbs in the northwestern part of the city, edging the city limits and nearing the country. It it was approximately 420 square meters or 502 square yards. It was a piece of land surrounded by a 6.5 foot tall wall for privacy. The house sat in the far corner of the property with a good view of the surroundings, 90 to 95% view of the whole property from the front porch of the house. Um, Now they get into a whole bunch of different stuff. The city is a metropolitan area with a population of about 486,000 people. It kind of resembles Wichita, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri. They say the landscape is flat. I mean, this guy's getting into the details. Okay, well, anyway, it was Friday, October 18th, 2002. It was a mild spring, and that night it was a full moon with relatively cloudy skies. We had a dozen dogs on our property, which all slept together in a large kennel on the side of the house. They would be pretty quiet at night, but on that night they were unsettled and spooked. One of the dogs managed to escape from the kennel and was desperately trying to get into the house. I was alone with my mom, and she came to me. Uh, she asked me to turn on the floodlights outside of the house and check what was going on. I did and went to the front porch to scan the area, trying to see what could have scared the dogs. Staring at the corner where we had a mango tree, I saw this large grayish creature running on all fours, avoiding the lights. It passed behind the mango tree and disappeared into the dark. As I saw it, I immediately identified it as being a werewolf, like the one from the movie Bad Moon, but with a slightly larger head, thicker snout, and bulkier build. On its hind legs, it must have stood at the very least as tall as our property wall. Remember, 6.5 feet tall. Um, I froze for a second after seeing it, and as soon as I recovered from the shock, I sprinted as fast as I could back into the house, locked all of the doors, and closed the windows that were still open. I was familiar with werewolf movies back then. I was already aware of the possibility of there being someone who could shapeshift into a monster. But what I saw was unmistakably similar to a werewolf. So, since that encounter, I started to believe in werewolves, only under the same concept of dogmen, which are natural rather than supernatural and look the way they do 24/7. A term I only came across recently. And that is the encounter I had with Dogman. Just like in the US, where there are places where sightings are frequent, there are places in Brazil where they happen frequently too. In the US, it would be Elkhorn, Wisconsin, Taylor, Mississippi, Marshall, Texas, so on and so forth. So that is their encounter. All right, you guys. So that's what we got going on there for Dogman Encounters International. Anybody want to hear anything from any states? Samurai, good night. Let's do a little Q&A. What's going on, guys? Jasmine, hey, man, if my dog eats cats... Oh, I don't know, man. That's a good question. Chad, what's up? Alabama, cool. West Virginia. So that's where you guys want to hear stories from? Alabama or from West Virginia? Is there anything from Maine? Okay, so we'll do Alabama, West Virginia, Maine, and then Tennessee. What about Ontario? Well, Sherry, let me look real quick, and then I'll... Sherry, yes, there is. Control delete. No such thing as ghost. Listen, control delete. Come on, man. Are you gonna always jump into my chat and try and start trouble? Come on, brother. So we're gonna do Alabama first. So Alabama, what do we got here in Alabama? Alabama has two. They're both in Walker County, Alabama. All right, here we go. Actually, this is one great big one. What's up, Tony? So 1969, I was 9 years old and lived about a half mile down the road from an old church and cemetery. There were two other old houses there. How does he remember? How do I remember you? Because your name was Control Delete, and you always came in and saying, "There's no such thing as ghosts," and you say negative things like that. So I remember you, man. Come on, just like is it Ada? I remember Ada, and I remember. Hey, what's up there, Smart Life Ideas? I remember Falcon. Wayne Schultz, what's going on? Could it be that Bigfoot is just blurry? That's a possibility. Danny Buckner, what's going on? So okay, Chad. So here we go. This is just for you. So there were two other old houses there. No one lived in. There were strange things happening quite often around where we lived back then. I remember one of the strange things that happened very well. My dad worked evenings from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., just 3 miles down the road from our house. My mom, my sister, and I had just gone to bed when we started to hear a bumping sound on the back of our house. My sister and I ran from the bedroom we shared in the back of the house to the front of the house where my mom and dad's bedroom was. My sister and I were scared, so my mom let us sleep with her until my dad came home, remember, at 11 p.m. Their bedroom had two windows side by side in the front of the house, above the porch. You could see through the curtains at night due to the street light out front. We were lying there after not hearing any more noises when all of a sudden we heard something on the front porch. My mom saw it firsthand and sat up in the bed. She then made my sister and I notice that made my sister and I notice her staring out the window. When we turned our gaze from our mom to the window, we saw what looked like a very large dog on the front porch. It was walking to the front door upright on its back legs. When it reached the front door, it shook it violently. It was as tall as the door, and we could see it scratching at the screen door with its front paws. It remained there for what seemed like 15 minutes, but it probably only was a minute or two. Mom didn't say a word at first, or for the first minute or two. She just shushed us until it turned and walked about 10 feet to the steps on its back legs. Just before it reached the steps, it went down on them. It went to all four legs. My mom told us to go back to sleep, and we eventually did. I don't remember her telling my dad, but I do remember this well. It was 6 to 6.5 feet tall while standing upright on its back legs. You could see all the facial features, its ears, its snout, and its head. Those features made it resemble a German Shepherd. We hadn't seen anything that looked or acted like that in the area before that night. A lot of strange things happened there. I didn't say it was a dog man, but it did walk on its back legs for several feet. And this story continues. Another time when I was young, my sister, who I shared the back bedroom with at the time, was at our grandmother's house spending the night. I had gone to bed but wasn't asleep yet. My mom had my bedroom window open so air could get in because it was a hot night that night. The back of our house was high off the ground. Consequently, the bottom of my bedroom window was 8 feet off the ground. I had been lying there on my back when I rolled over to my stomach towards the window. My foot went off the bed uh, on the window side and wound up being only a few inches from the window. All of a sudden, something touched my foot. I don't remember if it grabbed my foot or what, but the screen ripped, the curtain fell, and I scrambled off the bed and out of my bedroom into the living room, where my mom was. She heard the commotion and saw that I was frightened. She asked me what was wrong, and I told her what happened. She went to my bedroom and saw the hole in the screen and the curtain was down. She also saw how it was hanging halfway out of the window. She didn't know what to think, so she called my dad home from work. He came home to check it out and walked around the house before coming in. He said he hadn't seen anything at first. He didn't believe my mom. It wasn't until he saw the curtain was hanging out of the window that he did believe her. He couldn't figure it out. We didn't have any problems with prowlers. At first, they thought I'd stuck my foot through the screen. I don't think that's what happened because I wasn't sleeping yet. I just couldn't have done that. You guys, I'm telling you, this guy, something reached through the screen and grabbed his foot or touched his foot. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right. West Virginia was next. What do we got here in West Virginia? Okay, who asked for West Virginia? Hey, Ark, yeah, my mods are second to none. Human or Jin, who made what the devil? I don't know. Okay, Danny, Hancock County or Preston County, West Virginia? Well, those are the only two that I have. I wish I had something close to you. Oh, either one? Okay, sorry. Either one. Um, let's do Hancock County. Okay. Oh, I'm sure I do, Mr. Ballard. I'm sure I do. What's up, Robbie? Okay, let's see what we got going on here. So Hancock County. Oh, this is a long one. This is a real long one. This is in 2002. What's up, pork chops and applesauce? I'm 32 years old from a very northern tip of West Virginia. Most of my family has lived in Hancock County. When I was little, we camped in tents, walked everywhere, hiked in parks, all that outside goodness. In my teens, we started to go to state parks, ride horses, and so on and so forth. I've been to the Tomlinson River, Beaver Creek State Park, Salt Fork, Raccoon Creek, and Vista Park. I think that was the name. We had a friend who consistently invited us to ride on people's lands she had received permission from. I'm well acquainted with the local wildlife. I've seen all the major players, including coyotes, bears. I can identify most sounds in the forest. I love watching nature documentaries. I love looking. I was looking to become a vet, so I studied a lot of animals, drawing, paintings. Okay, so she's all about animals. Okay. Later in life, I started looking uh, at it like folklore. I was interesting to read the accounts and learn the theories behind what people were seeing, but in much of I believed them as much as a folklorist believed in dragons and trolls. I didn't have any interest in Bigfoot. I'd never heard of Dogman. I never had any interest or looking for it, nor did the thought ever enter my mind. It seems I didn't need to go looking. They found me. We moved from the farm when I was about 10. Mom's dream was to have horses, and she finally was able to live that dream. The farmhouse was haunted, mainly by the former residents of the house. I never felt threatened by them, though. It's a little unnerving to have two men talking and moving the couch you're sitting on. Or should I say, it sounded like it. No one was at home, no media was on, yet I was hearing two men having a conversation and they were going to move the couch. The land itself has its share of strangeness. Most things were benign. What were whatever. Uh, we would just shrug and carry on. I honestly hated the woods. Anywhere else, I would freely hike, but even in the yard, sometimes I felt like I was being watched. Heck, sometimes I thought something was staring in our windows. Now that I think of it, we did have things slam into our trailer. I think it was a horse that had gotten loose, but when I went out to investigate, I found nothing. I chalked it up to a deer. My horses used I used my horses breeds for their names rather than think up names for them. Anyone who knew me, my horse's names was 18 to 19 in this encounter, and by the time we gave up on cows, I hate them, and we just had horses and cows. So here's their encounter. Someone knocked on the door at 2 a.m. I had only been asleep 2 hours, but years of conditioning had my heart pumping and my mind clearing. Someone knocked that early meant trouble. I usually it usually meant horses or livestock had gotten out. I wasn't disappointed. Our neighbor said the horses were in his yard. My mind wasn't totally awake, but I didn't think to ask which yard they were in. My stepfather came out, asked what was up, and told me that there were my horses, so I needed to deal with them. And my mom was working at the time. That was nothing new. This is a lot of horses. Um, had three experts escape artists. Yeah, I'm not gonna. This is more of how she liked to do things. Is that one's? Sorry, I'm not reading that one. That one's dumb. Here's one. This one's from Preston County, West Virginia. I was coming home from Taekwondo class in Morgantown, West Virginia, just outside Masontown. This big dog-like thing jumped off the cliff on the driver's side of the road. I hit my brakes and I came to a stop. It stood in the middle of the road. Its teeth were bared in a snarl. I thought it was going to attack. Just then, a car came from the opposite direction. The car also came to a stop, and this thing jumped from the middle of the road over the embankment. And that was in 1995. Yeah. All right. I think Maine was next. Who asked about Maine? And after Maine is going to be Ontario. How about Idaho? I think Idaho has some. Idaho does have some. All right, here we go. Let's do Maine, and the next is going to be Canada. Maine, there's only one that's been reported. Oxford County. This one was in 2001. I'm a night owl. I always stay up late at night and watch TV. I just happened to look out my window one night and saw what I initially thought was a man sitting on a roof. I thought it was a man because at first he looked almost naked until I saw the hair or fur on him. He then turned his face, and what I saw then was frightening. He had pointed ears like a dog and a long snout. They were almost like a German Shepherd's ears. I could not understand what I was looking at. I just stared at him for a few minutes. I felt like if I moved, it would see me. I sat there, it sat there on his butt with human looking arms and legs, but with hair or fur covering them. I backed away from the window very slowly and went to tell my husband. He didn't want to get up and go look, though. He thought I was crazy. When I went back to the window, it was gone. I don't know or understand what I saw that night, but I did tell my husband and kids what I saw. It was haunting me for many years until I was just telling a few of my grandchildren recently at camp. One of them got on the computer and found some pictures of what they thought I meant. It was very scary. I was looking at the same thing I saw on the roof that night. I could not believe it. As I sit here looking at the picture, I did not know it really existed many, many years ago. So let's see here. You ever get into Hollow Earth, guys? I've kind of read up a little bit on that, and it is you're right. It is weird. All right, let's do Canada real quick here. What do we got? Canada, Canada. You guys, if you guys like the live, if you like having me read these stories or just talk, I'll do Canada and then we'll kind of do some, Q&A. How about that? And then after that, I'll do Idaho. Um, but if you guys like the live, if you go ahead and check out some of the other episodes that I've dropped, take a look. If you like them, please consider subscribing. I truly appreciate that. And hit those notifications so you know when I go live. I go live Monday through Friday at 6:45 to 7:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. I also drop new episodes. I drop new episodes every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then every Saturday, I do a Saturday night live stream at 7:30 Central Standard Time. But this Saturday, I will not be doing it. I'll be going live throughout the day because I will be at a Bigfoot conference in Eastern Tennessee. All right, let's hit up Canada. All right. All right, this one was reported in 2014. I was driving home from work on a 6-lane highway heading west into Hamilton, Ontario. As I drove on my side of the highway, I saw a dog cross from left side to the right side. That area is full of trees, bushes, channels, and ravines of water that are offshoots of Lake Ontario. When I saw the dog, it was approximately half of a kilometer ahead of me. The astonishing aspect of this dog, and I'm pretty certain it was a dog, was that its length from nose to rump, excluding its tail, covered almost a full width of the lane. This lane is 8 feet wide. Where it was heading was back into the small valley filled with heavy forestation and a ravine. I couldn't believe a dog could grow to that size. I still remind my boyfriend of this occasionally, and yet I have no witnesses. Did someone say my ex-wife is a cryptid? Hey, Smart Life, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. I like nutty people that are entertaining. Absolutely. All right, so you guys, here we go. So I'm gonna hold off on doing some of these. The next one I'm doing those, I'm going to do Idaho. And Charlie, I think you asked for Idaho. Let's see what we got here. There's two. Um, one is in Ada County, and one is in mini Dacoa, Dacoa County. So, you guys, again, if you're new to the chat, please drop a 1 and let me know where you're from. And I am your host, Dano. All right, New Mexico. What's up, Southern Valley? Uh, I'm Dano. I'm the host of the Cryptid podcast, and we talk everything cryptid. We also talk about aliens. We talk about UFOs, things I do not talk about. I do not talk about religion. I do not talk about politics. I do not talk about, I really don't get into the paranormal. So, if you guys have any questions, let's hear them. Let's hear your questions. Marlene from Delaware. Awesome. I think you're the first person I've recalled from Delaware. There's a lot going on out here in, how do you say, is it Dulce, New Mexico? You don't have any questions. That's cool. I never felt like I'm arguing. Wayne, what's going on, buddy? So that's how you say it? Dulce? Cool. Jason, how was your food? What did you eat? Yeah, what did you eat, Jason? How was your food? Who's not a believer? Wayne's not a believer? That's okay. If Wayne's not a believer, Wayne doesn't have to be a believer. Wayne, I believe, is going to be one of those people that he is going to be going camping or hiking or fishing. And I honestly think that he'll have one. He'll have an encounter and it'll change him. But I don't want him to come here so I can change his mind. I would like him to come here and just kind of have an open mind and kind of listen. Maybe pull some information from people. Maybe he can think about things that he sees and maybe go, well, maybe that's that's a probability. I don't believe anything where there isn't proof. Wait, and again, 100% believe. You have that right to believe that, but what do you want as proof? Like, explain to me what are some acceptable pieces of proof that may sway your view another way. Okay. So what kind of proof would you need to see? Hey, what's up there? Is it Jolly? Jolly Rodriguez. We're talking about cryptids. Bigfoot, Dogman, Kushtaka, Jersey Devil, things like that. Okay, we do not talk anything politics. So if you name a politician, you're talking politics. So you want videos and DNA. Okay, what else? So what about vocalizations? What about footprints? What about things like that? Someone mentioned hair. It's all been disproven. I disagree. Very nice. I've been on the. Yeah, skinwalkers are crazy. Wayne, what do you mean? What do you mean the hair samples have been disproven? Because can we talk about witches? Falcon? No, no. Hair, it's easy. It's an easy search. Well, okay, so here you go. Everything I've heard about hair, it's come back inconclusive. No, there have been reports where hair samples have been taken and it's been proven to be no North American animal on record at all. They ruled out human, they ruled out all different types of animals. It comes back unknown. So that should give you just a small amount of like, okay, there's something there. That's right, with female DNA. Yep. Well, I'm not saying that because it's inconclusive that it's 100% Bigfoot. It's just not a known species or known animal. They've ruled out human, they've ruled out all other known animals in that area. They've ruled it all out. And so it gives you an opening. It kind of opens a door. Whether you want to walk through that door or not, it just gives you an open door. So, but it is proof. It is proof that something is out there that exists that people just can't identify at this point in time. So that is proof that there's something out there that exists. Now, whether you want to call it a Bigfoot or whatnot, that's all on you. But then when you put footprints in it, and things like that, vocalizations, a lot of these vocalizations that some people are putting out there have been scientifically analyzed just because you can't explain it. Well, but again, Wayne, I'm not telling you that that points to being a Bigfoot, but it points to something that's possible out there. What's up, Jason? How are you? Well, it's an even bigger jump to say that they don't exist. How are you? Just subscribe to your channel today. I watched quite a few of your podcasts and they're pretty good. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. But again, Wayne, it's a huge jump just to completely say nope, that's not doesn't exist. I just hey Sean, so last Saturday, just past Saturday, we did the Bridgewater Triangle. Well, I mean, I've had people come on who have been out in the woods their whole life, even now as adults, where they have cameras on their phones, they put out trail cameras and things like that. I can tell you when I had my sighting when I was 12 years old, it was in 1984. I didn't have a camera. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I have no reason to lie to anybody on this channel. But I know what I saw. My dad also saw it. No, no, Bigfoot. I do not believe Bigfoot are immortal. Absolutely, I do not believe that. I don't I don't believe that Bigfoot are immortal, and you'll never hear me say that. Well, you have to think about Wayne thinking about this, and this is the last thing I'm going to comment on from you. Again, I appreciate the conversation. That's what gets this whole this whole genre. That's what gets this thing going. That's okay. Yeah, I know you understand that 12-year-olds have imagination. Now you're kind of whether you think you are or not, but you're throwing an insult at me, claiming that I'm lying in a roundabout way. I'm not lying. I have no reason to lie what I saw because what I encountered in '92 when I was 20 changed my life forever. It completely pulled me out of the woods like I used to hang out in the woods. I used to do some long hikes, miles and miles. I used to camp way off the regular trail. No, no, it's what I saw. And again, I'm not going to have a conversation with you if you're going to go ahead and just kind of throw stuff out there. But again, I appreciate your conversation. I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate your 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 contribution to the whole idea of Bigfoot. Any more questions? Any more comments? Hey, Jerry Hart, that is a really no. I'm not gonna. No, do not. I'm telling my mods right now. I'm telling my mods. Do not put Wayne in timeout. Don't. Don't delete any more of his conversation. Don't. Okay. So, what's up, big man? Popped in here to say hey and Dogman rolls. That's awesome. Cool, cool. Yeah, there are more. I'm going to be going through. So I want to answer Jerry Hart. Jerry Hart. Here's. No, I know you're not trying to sound rude. Here's the thing. There are some shows that go out and um, they go out with these guns, and I think you guys may know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna name the show because I thought the show was I thought the show was stupid. But it's these guys, these country guys, go out with all these guns, and every single little noise they heard, that's a Bigfoot. Oh my gosh, there it is right there. Oh my goodness. And they give you all this huge, um, all this drama and things like that. So the thing is, hunters have seen them. They know what firearms are. And is your beard? Let's see. What? Hold on. It's your beard that won't let me take you seriously. So what's up with my beard? Like, bro, I've shaved my beard off. See, I mean, the Yeti is distinctive. What's your opinion on Dogman? Dogman is real, it's scary, and I want nothing to do with it. Again, if a beard is preventing you from taking somebody seriously, then you should reevaluate how you interact with people. Because there's a ton of people that have beards. Ton. Yeah, that's right, Charlie. Those they made those shows to discredit the real creature. Don't be fooled. Absolutely. 100%, Charlie. Now, one I do like is Expedition Bigfoot with Russell Accord. So, all right, who wants to get into an Idaho encounter for Dogman? Who asked for that? Danny, was it you that asked about the Idaho encounter? Charlie, it was Charlie. Okay, so Charlie, there's two. It's Minidoka County or Ada County, Ada County, ADA. Which one? I haven't done Tennessee. I'll do Tennessee next. Hey, I love Griffin family. What's up, man? How are you? Okay, I'll do the Minidoka. Okay, this was in 2013. You know much on Skinwalker's Ranch? I don't, Jerry. Love Galore. What's up? I don't. I'll get into that as soon as I'm done doing a Tennessee encounter. So this one is in Idaho. I wasn't there, but my son-in-law and their friend saw a dog man. My son called me all freaked out that they had seen a Bigfoot because he knows I believe in Bigfoot. Now, my son always made fun of me for believing in Bigfoot. He asked me, Dad, can Bigfoot run on all fours? I said, yes. Why do you ask? He said, Dad, we just saw one while out spotlighting rabbits. I asked him to describe what he was looking at, and he said they were hunting rabbits with a spotlight, and he saw something hunched over. He said then he yelled to the others and to let them know that he had seen something, then started to shine its light on it. At first, he thought it was a large bird because it was down like it was eating something. Then it stood up on its hind legs, spread its arms out wide, and when the other two came to look, it dropped back down and took off faster than anything they'd ever seen before. He said it had a dog's snout and was covered in fur, but you could see that it was very muscular. My son is 6'2", and he felt it stood as tall or taller than him. When it took off, they ran after it and watched it jump and clear a huge rock pile in one leap like nothing. That scared them, and they all took off and ran back to the car to get out of there. I spoke to all three, and they all had the same story and described the same thing. I told my son, that's not a Bigfoot, because Bigfoots don't have dog snouts. And I told him, you saw a dog man. It's funny that this happened around a lot of cornfields in the area. Also has caves and is covered in sagebrush. Now, you guys, I'm gonna kind of who's leaving? Tony's leaving. I'm. I think I'm gonna have to disagree with him seeing a. What's up, Gnostic Warrior? How are you doing? I remember you from one of our chats, one of my lives. I'm gonna disagree. Uh, yes, I do believe in aliens. I disagree that this was a dog man. I think it was what are they called? A gugway. I think this was a gugway, which they say is part Bigfoot, part dog man. I'm not sure. See, I feel certain cryptid sightings can be tracked to the government locations, biohacks. True, 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 true. I got something for your free speech. What's up beneath the Jim Smiths? Let's hear it. I'm just gonna warn you before you say it. I got mods in here that if they feel that it is not tolerated, then you'll get hidden or you'll get put in timeout. Lonnie Oliver, what area? What do you mean? What area siding? What do you mean? Popping and locking it. That's what I'm talking about, Griffin family. The difference in Gugway and Dogman. What's up, Steamboat? Gugway's a baboon face? I thought that was something completely different. I dare a mod to try to put me in a timeout. I dare them. Cowards! Was your son in danger from his encounter with the creature? My son? Well, the encounter I just read was not about my son. This one was in northern Idaho. Beneath the Jim Smith. I have over 500 accounts. That's awesome. So you're a busy person. Let's look for Tennessee here. That's weird. See, that's what I asked. Daniel Davis learned the hard way. I don't know what that means. The location of the last story I just read was in Idaho. Do some dark magic on. I don't, Griffin. You know that. I don't mess with dark magic, witchcraft, things like that. I don't. Oh, really? So he was doing some stuff and you reported he did some bad stuff and you reported his channel. Well, I mean, if I did bad things on here, then I would yeah, I try not to do anything bad, man. I try to keep it pretty much level and things like that, man. I really don't want anybody to you know, feel like I'm leaving them out of something or anything like that, you know. I just ask, that when people come in, they don't, we don't talk religion, we don't talk politics, we don't try to bring people down or anything like that, you know. There's just certain things like I don't like to talk about. I don't like talking about black magic, witchcraft, that type of stuff. So, you know. Hey, what's up, Seven Systems? Taking a break from my drum studio. Awesome. Espar Teresa. Yeah, hey guys, if it deals with like the occult, if it deals with black magic, if it deals with witchcraft, if it deals with paranormal stuff, I normally don't get into that type of stuff. What's up, Florida man, Dan? Cool, that's awesome. So he was reported for misinformation. Okay. right, so let's look at a Tennessee encounter here. We got, let's see here. We've got Hamilton County, Jefferson County, Dixon County, and Knox County. Hey, Wade, which one? That's a pretty crazy movie. Wolf with Jack Nicholson. Absolutely. Is Wade still in here? Mothman, Jersey Devil. I would like to interview somebody who's had an encounter with one of those two. Does anybody want to hear an encounter, a dogman encounter from Tennessee? Um, Jason Miller. Here's the thing, man. I don't think there is. I really don't think that there is. Some people, like my dad, thinks that he saw a werewolf. 3R. I wish I knew how to pronounce your name. My dad swears he encountered a werewolf, and oh, yeah, my dad swears he saw one in Alaska when he was up hunting. I did ask something, Mr. Wade Fisher. Uh, what county, Wade? Hamilton, Jefferson, Dixon, or Knox County? Oh, Dixon County it is. All right, here we go. Dixon County. This was in 1985. My mother, grandmother, and two younger brothers and I were driving back and forth between Dixon and Waverly, Tennessee. It was summer vacation, and my grandmother would visit family in those areas. I'm the oldest child and usually was the only one awake on the back in the back seat as we drove around. I noticed what I thought was a brown bear on a ridge 200 to 300 yards away from the road. Now there are black bear in more eastern parts of Tennessee, so I thought this was a find to see a large brown bear that far in Middle Tennessee. I spent a large amount of my youth in nature, and I'm sort of an amateur biologist as an adult. I love animals and the outdoors. I say this to let it be known I know a wolf from a fox and a badger from a beaver. This bear was sitting down on the ridge and watching the traffic go by. I noticed it was very large and unusually muscular. Its back legs seemed way too long. It was sitting more on haunches than a usual bear would sit. Bears typically splay their feet out in front and sit on their bottoms. Its head seemed large and oddly shaped for a brown bear as well. As we drove by, I remarked to the adults, I was seeing a bear, and of course nobody looked. I also noted that as we drove by, it seemed to be looking at our car. Its head was shaped more like that of a husky. We were raising, like the huskies we were raising, than any grizzly to me. It turned its head, and the profile was spot on for a large husky to my 12-year-old mind. We were driving no more than 45 miles an hour, so I got a pretty good look at this thing. In fact, we traveled back and forth on that stretch of road over 3 or 4 days and about the same time every day. Now, I know I saw it at least 3 times total in the same area, and it was doing the same thing each and every time. It must have liked to watch traffic. I attempted to point it out every time, and I recall my mother and my youngest brother saw it briefly once apiece. Of course, we all thought it was an odd sight and had no clue it was anything other than a bear. The memory of this odd shaped, strange location for a brown bear and its odd movement stuck with me for many, many years. See, it didn't move like a bear when I saw it move. It moved like a dog when it turned its head and body. It crawled on all fours like a primate mixed with a great cat than a bear would. My young mind just chalked it up as to some strange but normal animal, but I've never been able to fully rationalize it as a bear. Fast forward to about 2015, and I am now well aware what I saw, thanks to the show called Dogman Encounters. I, I can put this odd sighting to rest. Thanks for reading this. It's more of a sighting than an encounter, but I decided to pass it along. And there you go. How are Dogman's bodies built in comparison to Sasquatch? Is that what you're asking there, Danny? Well, I mean, you have certain type. They say I just read an encounter that they said that actually, Swamp Dog, he had an encounter where one was legitimately dragging his wife away. I'll do Knox County in a second. Wait, I promise. And he said that it had legs and arms like us, and it had the head of a dog, and it was massive. So I would say your typical dog man is kind of has like the back legs like a dog, and then a head, German Shepherd, ears, snout, things like that, but just more muscular, I would say. Think of a dog getting up on its hind legs, having arms with like what they say raccoon looking hands. So something like that. So let's see here. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat and let me know where you're from. Love to see where you guys are from. My name's Dano. I'm the host of the Cryptid podcast, and what I like to do is just talk to people who have had encounters with types of cryptids. Um, Selfless TV, what's up? Gilbert, how's it going? Philadelphia, awesome. Southern California. Um, when I interview somebody, they're people who have had um, encounters. They're just everyday normal people had encounters. Some of them sit on it for decades. They are afraid to talk about it. They get chastised. They get, told they're crazy. They're lying. They didn't see anything. And, I had one when I was 12. I had a sighting when I was 12. Um, and I sat on that for over 30 years before I came forward and talked about my encounter. And then I just started this podcast for selfless reason because I wanted like kind of like a clarification, that I wasn't the only one that encountered things like this, and that just find other people who had the same encounters, typical, similar things like that. What I do is I usually pre-record. Sometimes I'll do a live interview. Monday through Friday, I do a live show, 6:45 to 7:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. And um, hold that question, Junior. Um, and then every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, I drop a new episode. And then every Saturday night at new time, guys, 7:30 Central Standard Time. So just an hour earlier, um, I do a live stream, and we talk about a specific cryptid or a group of cryptids or a particular incident that happened. And we've covered stuff like the Whitehall Abear Road incident in 1976, the attack at Ape Canyon, Marble Mountain incident. Oh, sorry guys. The Moleon monster. We on the Moleon rib. We talk about that. Um, so yeah, I have a couple of I did a live on We People. Fortunately, something popped up, and I had to end that live pretty quick. It was about an hour. Um, but we've had a couple people who said they've seen We People. So yeah, I find it fascinating. I like to find more encounters with them. King Jam, what's going on, man? What's going on? I get Jack Black all the time, man. I do. I mean, I'm flattered. I like Jack Black, so I'm glad I ran into this channel. I just subscribe, love. So thank you so much, Gilbert. I really appreciate it. Is it Jimenez? Jimenez? Is that how you say your name? Jimenez? The last name? Jack Black in the chat. What's going on? Matthew, what's going on? Good for you, man. You are our hero. Folks need somewhere to report. I wouldn't definitely say I'm not a hero, man. It's just, I've had them again in my life from like 1979 till about 19, no, not till about 1992. So 79 to 92, I had a total of 5 encounters. One of those encounters was a sighting. The last encounter I had was with my younger brother. He had just graduated high school. I had just come home on emergency leave to bury my grandfather, and then I surprised him. Um, for his graduation. Um, that encounter's the hardest one for me to talk about. My brother passed away in 2016. Uh, we as adults, we kind of expect, to try to get ourselves ready for our parents or grandparents passing away, maybe an aunt and uncle. Um, but nothing can compare you when you lose a younger sibling, especially when it's completely unexpected. Um, the day he passed away, I talked to him that morning, and he said he was going to the doctor to get a checkup, that he was fine, perfectly fine, and was going to pick up some more of his meds, and then they were heading from Texas back up to Tennessee to help my mom move into her new place, and at about 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, I got a call that my brother had passed away. So yeah, hey man, thanks for that, Danny. Have a good night. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. What's the Mogollon monster, Herman? You ask. That is what they believe is a Bigfoot. Yeah, Chris Hansen, absolutely Northern California for sure. Hey Jojo, what's going on? I told you I was going to be live. So I did say your last name right, Gilbert. That's awesome. Thanks. Appreciate that. I got a bunch of them. I love them. My wife is responsible for buying me some of them. What's up, Tupac? All eyes on me. What's up, Jay Fizzle? You guys don't need to be sorry. Yeah, it's hard. A lot of people, we think about Jay Fizzle in the house from New Zealand. What's going on? So, all right, I'm going to read another encounter. Where did we say we're going to do from? Another one in Tennessee. Did you say Knox County, Wade? Wade, did you say Knox County? Yeah, Snuffles. Yeah, it's harsh, man. That's cool. Knox County, okay. Let's do Knox County, Tennessee. We got a dog encounter, Knox County, Tennessee. This is a small one. This was actually June of 2015. Did you live in Knox County or near Knox County in 2015? Yeah, Squatch Mama, 1 second. Let me finish this real quick. Uh, my father and I were driving late late one night near a wooded area. No cars or houses were nearby. My father and I both noticed an 8 foot tall creature in the woods. It had a wolf like face. Its eyes were huge and glowing. Um, it had the body of a man and it was black, long black fur. And it was standing like a human would. Its eyes made contact with us, then it ran extremely fast into the woods. My dad and I called it a cat man. Um, we would make jokes about it from time to time. We would try to tell other people about our encounter, but they just laughed at us. That's a very. What's up, Janet? Hello, how are you? Last year when was my granddad passed. Yeah, you guys, it's really hard. So my little brother died of a massive heart attack at age 42. His friend was driving him to his doctor appointment, and I talked to his friend, and his friend was absolutely destroyed. He kept saying, Dano, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. Um, one minute we were talking, the next minute I heard this noise. I looked over, and your brother was he said because he was a combat medic. His friend was, and he made this loud like snort noise or something like that. He said, and he was having a violent seizure. It looked like, and then his body just slumped, and he pulled over. He pulled over immediately. He put it in park, and by the time he ran around the front of the car to get my little brother was already gone. Um, and what really sucks is that when I was 26 years old, uh, I had gotten out of the military when I was 25. I moved back to Tennessee when I was 26, and my little brother lived with me. I asked him to come and move in with me, and he wasn't in a good place at that time. And so we were sitting and we were playing cribbage, and took a big drag off of a cigarette, and he just kind of looked at me and he goes, um, he goes, I'm not going to live to see 25. Or, excuse me, I'm not going to live to see 45. He goes, yeah, I'm not going to live to see 45. And I got real mad at him. And I told him, like, oh man, shut up, dude. Don't say that stuff. And then, he went through a really rough patch. Um, and then, typical his fashion, he came out on the other side smelling like roses. And he's like, we had a really cool conversation. And he goes, Carlo, what's the funniest story you've heard in a while? Um, the uh, the story about my little brother dying. You find that funny? All right. I mean, hey, you guys. Hey, some people have a weird sense of humor, but he called me one day. We had a great conversation, and he's like, "Man," he goes, "I feel good. I've never felt better in my life. I met a new girl." He goes, "For the first time in my life, I know what love feels like." And he goes, "You know what?" He's called me Bubby. He goes, "Bubby," he goes, "I want to live. I want to grow old." And I'm like, "Heck yeah, man. That's what I want that too." And I said, "I want us to be two old brothers sitting on a porch, rocking chairs or bench or whatever, and have someone take a picture of us, you know?" He's a good guy, and I miss him. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry to bring that mood down. And whoever asked me about my little brother and how he passed away, please don't feel bad. It's rough. And I got a picture of me and my brother and our dad and our mom, and I look at that picture, and I'm the last one left in that picture. I'm the last one. I don't have I'm sorry, guys. Whew. All right, let's see here. What do we got going on? Who asked about what state did I ask about? You found my channel, man. I appreciate that. Hey, Tupac, do you like Cypress Hill? Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's just it's hard. It's hard. Uh, you know, um, Especially this time of year. It's hard. Let's see here. Yeah, you like Cypress Hill? So one of my brother's favorite songs that they sing, um, was "I Want to Get High" by Cypress Hill. Some people asked him, my brother drink. My brother didn't really drink a lot, but he loved Mary Jane. Loved Mary Jane. He went through a lot of, like I said, my brother had a really rough time. We didn't always live together, and sometimes I feel like I failed him because being a big brother, you know, um, being a big brother, it's my duty to protect him. Uh, to protect him from all the bad things. And let's I'm going to talk about let's see here. With all the dogman encounters and things all over the United States, it's funny. I picked Iowa, and there's one in Lynn County. Um, uh, so Iowa, let's see what's going on in Lynn County, Iowa. Oh, this is 2014. What's up, Swamp Dog? Um, so this was from a deputy sheriff. So I love encounters like this when you hear, like a deputy sheriff, a police officer. Yeah, Mr. Unknown, my brother Josh. Yeah, technically, he's not my blood brother, but he's my bro. I mean, he's super cool. He's one of my absolute dearest friends and a confidant, and yeah, he's like my little brother. But I like these encounters when they come from like a government official. Um, so while I was out on patrol as a deputy sheriff for the county and was usually assigned to Highway 13 and Highway 30 corridors. However, I recall that particular July 1st, however, that a young man between 16 and 17 years old had been stuck in had been sucked into a storm drain which emptied into Cedar Lake near the Quaker Oats plant. This is a place with heavy foot traffic and located in an urban setting. The area is also bordered by the Mohawk Park. As a search went on into the night, the local PD got the county involved. I parked my cruiser at what I believe was the electric company storage yard. The yard had what I estimated to be a 10-foot fence that ran parallel to the paved bike trail, on the other side of which runs to the paved bike trail, and on the other side of which runs a large concrete spillway to siphon off floodwaters. I arrived at what I estimated roughly between 11:30 and 11:45 p.m. I estimated only because I assure you there never was, nor will there be, an official statement on record with my name on it telling this story. Of course, there wouldn't be. As I left the lot, I was at the north end of the lake and headed west on foot. There was a lot of brush and saplings between the spillway and the trail, so I proceeded on to the point where the trail turns south, near where Cedar Lake empties into the Cedar River under the railroad tracks leading into Quaker Oats. There are multiple tracks at the turn I mentioned before, and only the tracks furthest from myself had a train on it. With my attention on the spillway, I hardly noticed uh, at first a faint red colored light in the distance north of my position. It was coming from down the track on the other side of the train. I had thought it perhaps the tail light of a car, not being from that patrol route, so I had no knowledge that there was, in fact, no road in that direction. There ain't much things in this world that scares me, to put it simply. I've seen some crap in my effing days, but nothing prepared me for that night. The lights disappeared, and that was that, or so I had figured. About 5 minutes passed before I heard a snorting, almost sniffing sound coming from the other side of the tracks. When I turned, the first thing I saw were its eyes. They glowed a dull red, and this thing was at least 8 feet tall, pushing 450, I judged this by the fact that I am 6'4" and 280 pounds. I turned my light, and to this day I wish I hadn't. It had pointed ears and a long muzzle, and it looked at me right in the face before it bolted into the timber. It was not a mask. It was not a person in costume. Who would walk upon an armed man with a police radio in full uniform and risk getting shot? I remember it was surreal. So final, I so see, it was so surreal, so final, I guess. I know what's in the dark now. People can say or think what they want, but even with a chambered round and a full magazine and a Glock 40, I didn't feel like I had enough firepower. I unholstered and fell back towards the trail and to the electric company storage area. Putting the fence to my back, I made a hasty retreat to the lot with my cruiser. I don't think I holstered my pistol until I got out of the park. I never spoke of it then, and honestly, I don't know why I am now. But one thing is for certain, I knew it was there, and it was watching my every move. I'll never go back, and I no longer work with the department since becoming a minister. But I still carry a Glock with hollow point rounds, tipped in silver, and I rarely do leave my home at night. Okay, that's crazy. That was a crazy encounter. I gotta ask Jeremiah where Lynn County is. All right, you guys, I've been going almost 2 hours. You want me to stay on for 10 more minutes to hit that 2 hour mark, or should I go ahead and just call it a night? Luca, sorry, I don't speak Russian. Stay. All right. Someone throw out. Okay, I'll stay for another 9.5 minutes and then I'm out of here. What's up, John? How's it going? Missouri? Okay, let's look up Missouri. Bo Ballard, what's going on? I'm on a cookie. Keep going. All right, let's look up Missouri, 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 Missouri. All right. All right. For Missouri, we have, what do we got here? We got uh, Pulaski County, Chesterfield County, or St. Louis County. You pick. Charles, what county, my friend? Oh, Lisa already said Pulaski. St. Louis. All right, I'll do St. Louis first, and then Lisa, I'll read yours. All right. Yeah, Gilbert. Yeah, I mean, I had some people in there talking some trash, but it's okay. Thanks to the mods and thanks to you guys jumping on their case. Again, I never plan on, you know, I never plan on getting that emotional times. It's just, today was kind of a rough day. Can I get Baba Booey? Baba Booey. Fa fa fo fi. All right, so let's hit St. Louis County, and then we'll do Pulaski County. All right, let's see here. So this is St. Louis County, 2015. All right, here we go. I was rolling the trash cans out for pickup the next day. I was late, so I grabbed a flashlight. I walked out the back door, unlocked the gate, and was dragging the can while walking backwards. As I passed the fence, it blocked my view of the neighbor's garage. That's when my light hit this wolf creature. I froze instantly. The creature was about 20 feet away, and I could clearly see that it was crouching. When our eyes met, it turned to its right and fell to all fours, leapt my neighbor's driveway in one leap. The driveway is about 12 feet wide. The creature was about 8 feet tall and maybe 300 pounds. It looked kind of thin around the waist, but it was very muscular. I dropped the trash can and panic set in. I ran inside, grabbed my gun, and locked myself in my room. I never felt fear like that before. When the light hit its eyes, they were vibrant yellow color. Its fur was short and charcoal colored. I could hear the clicking of its claws when it dropped down on all fours. I thought I was seeing things. I didn't sleep a wink that night. It made me really question my sanity. Furthermore, it made me seek a concealed carry permit. Just a few nights ago, I heard something whimpering when it was just starting to get dark. I slammed my window shut, hit the lights, laid in bed with my AR that night. Sincerely anonymous. That was November 19th, 2015. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, whimpering. No kidding. Lisa, for sure. Whimpering? Matthew, you're leaving here, man? Good night, Daniel. Good listening to you. I had a good time, man. It's a shame about the few wankers in here. Most of the count. Yeah, it's cool, man. I don't worry about it. I truly enjoy connecting with my international audience just as much as my domestic audience. Um, yeah, thank you so much for you jumping in and appreciate you. Um, Hopefully, if you guys like what you see tonight, and again, sorry guys, I got emotional there. But check out my other stuff that I have on there and on the channel. Check what episodes I got, and if you like what you see, please consider subscribing to the channel. Give it a thumbs up, hit that notification so you know when I go live and when I drop new episodes. And now we're going to do, what county are we going to do now? We're going to do Pulaski County. All right, here we go. This was in, oh, it doesn't give us. All right, so I should start off explaining that my partner and I are experienced Bigfoot investigators who are in a unique situation as we have a family group living in our research area. Last October, during a full moon, my partner and I were on our hilltop having quite a bit of success with two juveniles and one adult that we noticed. We would hear them walking in the leaf litter, and every once in a while we could hear a clack or wood knock from a different direction. After a while, it seemed the feeling of fun for them dissipated and became a lot more cautious. Mike heard something to our north and and went a ways down to investigate, while I stayed by camp to make sure it wasn't a diversion. He came back in a rush and said he had seen one of the young ones come out of the woodline running for the other side of the fire break. And that was followed, let's see, and what was following, he said he couldn't comprehend. It was 6 feet tall with pointy ears and a long snout. At this point, I have to say, neither of us had given any creed to dogman, wolfman, grassman theory. We just thought it was mistaken identification of a Bigfoot or bear. I had purchased a 40 caliber handgun and some hydroshock ammunition for it earlier in the day, so I went to my vehicle. After Mike had explained what he had seen, I retrieved my weapon and loaded it. All the while, we could hear the two young ones chattering and the big one uh, stomping all to our backside. Uh, they were pissed or upset about something, and they never acted that way with us. I had Mike take me down to the fire break to where he had seen this creature, and with the spotlight, we scanned the area. We could hear something moving around and a few short growls. Finally, Mike caught it with the spotlight going between trees, and what I witnessed is something I would never have dreamed of seeing, except for in a movie scene. A 6 foot tall wolf walking on its hind legs. I fired my weapon in the air and it turned to the southeast into the woods. We cautiously made our way back to camp, but we could hear this thing pacing us to our left. As we got back to our camp, we kept listening to this thing approaching us from the woods. Mike turned on the spotlight and I leveled my gun wherever the sound was coming from. It was approaching us without fear and it felt to both of us like it was stalking us, as it was one of the young juveniles Mike had witnessed. It came out from between the trees, and I shot it square in the ribs at about 20 yards. We measured the next day, and I'm a very good shot. I saw the wound and know without a doubt that I hit it. It fell to the ground, but immediately got back up and ran to the southeast. We could hear it crashing through the brush, and we even heard it fall down or trip over something, but it continued to head in pretty much the southerly direction, down the hill, paralleling the fire break. We were both freaked by this time. We broke camp and left. The next morning, I loaded up a few extra mags. I'm not going to say what they wrote. They wrote clips, and no, not going to do that. They're magazines. And we went back up to see if it died somewhere close or we just wounded it. So we felt we had to track it down. We did track it from the point where I shot all the way down to the canyon, even found where it made such a ruckus when it fell. The leaf litter was all upended and was fairly easy to track. At one point, we did find a perfect canine track in a mud ridge, but it was over 8 inches across. The thing that absolutely baffled both of us was that there was no blood trail. None. We both saw the bullet hit, yet no blood. We tracked it all the way down to the canyon until we lost the trail. We talked to a Native American couple we know, and they immediately said skinwalker. We contacted a few other investigators to try to figure out what the heck had happened. I mentioned before that neither of us took any creed from any dogman reporting. I do know that neither of us want to experience it again. I have never gone out into the woods unarmed since. So that is it, guys. And it looks like the chat froze. So, you guys, I want to say thank you so much for spending your time with me. Thank you so much for all the comments and the shares and the likes, whatnot, the hearts. I see them popping up. So, again, you guys, thank you so much. Look for me tomorrow morning. I'll be here at 6:45 doing a coffee with Dano. So, you guys have a great night. Thank you so much. As my buddy Josh always says, stay prayed up. And as I always like to say, you guys, remember, a legend begins with a sighting. Have a great night, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.